Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence, the 17th, and today I want to talk to you about the equivalencies between entrepreneurship, working for yourself, working to build your own business, and working for someone else, working to build their business, working on a team, but being paid a salary, an hourly rate. We often talk about what success is as an entrepreneur in terms of satisfaction, in terms of being happy, in terms of moving forward, in terms of growing a brand, a business, a product, or a service. But we never actually, at least I don't hear very much, people talking about where the line is. What is the line of, okay, I'm a success or I'm not a success yet? And I think that it's actually, for some people, a math problem. How much money am I making? Am I able to pay my bills? Am I able to pay my car payment, my rent, my mortgage? Am I able to pay for food? Am I able to pay for my family and so on? And let me give you a real quick, easy math problem. You tell me if this makes sense. If you compare what you make as an entrepreneur versus what you could make as an hourly employee or as a salaried employee, if you do the math, you have, say, 50 weeks out of the year, take 2 weeks for vacation, 40 hours a week, that's 2,000 hours a year that you're paid for. And let's say that you're paying the equivalent of what would be 33% in taxes, a third in taxes, because if you're an entrepreneur, you'd have to pay business tax, you'd have some other expenditures and so on. So just to equivalent everything out, let's make it 33%. So if you wanted to make $100,000 per year, that would be $35 an hour. 2,000 hours, about $35 an hour. So for every hour you spend looking for work, whether that figure is $35 or $50 or $70 or whatever, and whether or not $100,000 is your line, I'm either not a success if I'm not reaching that point, or I am a success if I'm not. In some parts of the country, that wouldn't be enough. Is it 200,000? Maybe in some parts of the country, it's half that, 50,000, depends upon where you live, right? But for every hour that you spend in an effort toward your entrepreneurial life, toward the product, the service, the work that you do, that means training for that work. That means acquiring the tools for that work. That means looking for that work. It means researching the client base, researching what's needed, researching the demand for your work, promoting the idea that you're available for the work, right? See, all of these things are the things that usually a company that you might work for on an hourly basis would provide for you or do for you separately from your job. How about purchasing the tools you need, billing for your work, collecting when those bills aren't paid for your work, educating yourself to do better work, forming a team to be able to do work more efficiently, and then doing the work, just doing the work, right? You need to make $35 an hour, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks out of the year. And obviously, most of those hours are not going to be productive if you're doing all those other things. So the question that I have for you is, what is your line? What is your number? What is what you would be happy with, satisfied with? Once you figure out what that is, the question is, are you motivated to be independent, to lead a team perhaps, to acquire that for yourself? We're always trying to figure out, God, if I just had sort of a day job I could rely on, then I could do this on the side. Or we think to ourselves, I could never make that much money as an entrepreneur, so I have to have that day job. Or I'm just going to have a day job. I'm going to find a job with a radio station, or I'm going to find a job in a library somewhere, or I'm going to find a job manufacturing or being part of the gig economy, driving an Uber or delivering for DoorDash or whatever. Where are you? What's your goal? What's your litmus test? Are you making $35 an hour? Or whatever it is that you require? I want to know in the comments below. I'd love to figure out what math you do to see if you're successful. Or do you just rely on the fact that if you're happy, you're successful? If you're satisfied, not working for the man, not being taken advantage of by the corporate machine, and rather being your own corporate machine for your own benefit. What's your equation? What's your math problem? Tell me in the comments below, especially if you're watching this on viagogo.com. If you're watching on YouTube, use the link to go over to viagogo.com before you make a comment, because that's where the conversation is kind of normalized. There's no haters or trolls allowed over there. I'd love to have a normal conversation about these sorts of things. And it's okay if the answer isn't clear, because that's part of the fun of being an entrepreneur, is figuring out what your metric for success is. I pretty much guarantee you that whatever you thought your metric for success was when you started, oh, if I could only make X amount of dollars, it's going to change by the time you reach what you feel is success. It's going to change. It's going to morph into something more than that. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to find out what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you feel successful. If you'd like to join my YouTube channel, go ahead and click on my head there. If there's no head there, then find a subscribe button somewhere on the page. If you want to see the latest video I've done, go ahead and click on that frame. YouTube will play it for you. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.